SAO is a series all about a VR MMORPG. So when creating a video game, what genre do you choose? Oh, they actually chose an action RPG? Well, good job Bandai, you did something right for once. However, after 5 SAO action RPGs, fans were getting tired of the same old genre. So, Bandai decided to switch it up with Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, a third-person looter shooter based off of the in-universe MMO Gun Gale Online. Many SAO fans seem to like this change, some even considering it the best game in the entire series. However, I'm talking strictly about SAO fans. For many non-fans, the game was seen as a farm-filled subpar looter shooter. This is Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet was first announced on August 18th, 2017. The initial announcement trailer revealed a couple of story details and some small snippets of gameplay. It also revealed that the game would be releasing in early 2018 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, which was a welcome surprise. No Sword Art Online game had been released on Xbox or PC, so many fans were excited at this opportunity. Finally, the trailer ended with the quote, "Your choice is faster and heavier than a bullet." Which might sound cool at first, but actually means nothing, because none of your choices have any impact until right at the very end. Anyways, we got our second trailer on September 22nd, 2017, which was a dedicated gameplay trailer. I won't speak much on the gameplay here as I'll cover it later, but what I will say is that many people seem to be into it. However, there were a lot of comparisons to Freedom Wars, which was also developed by the Fatal Bullet developers Dimps, and I can definitely see the similarities. Our next trailer was released literally the next day on September 23rd, this one covering the character creator and story, and people really liked it. One of the main complaints with the previous SAO games was that you always played as Kirito, and even when you could create your own character, every NPC treated you as if you were Kirito, just with a different skin. However, in Fatal Bullet, you would actually be your own character and be treated as such. Good on Bandai for actually listening to their fans for once. On October 25th, 2017, we would finally get a release date of February 23rd, 2018. Prior to its release, we got 2 more trailers, the first of which covering features of the game, as well as the inclusion of a Kirito side story. And the final trailer was the launch trailer, and at this point, fan expectations were pretty high. It was looking like Bandai had actually listened to their audience for once, and was moving in the right direction with this game. And, well, it kind of did. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet released on February 23rd, 2018 to mixed reviews. The ratings for this game are interesting. When looking at general review sites, the ratings are typically mediocre. On Metacritic, it received a 64 critic score and a 7.2 user score. IGN gave it a 5.9, and Destructoid gave it a 7. On the flip side, looking at Steam, it has a mostly positive for recent reviews and a very positive for all reviews. On Steam charts, it surprisingly launched with 21,727 players in its first month, but quickly dropped to 1,332 players the following month. However, over 1,000 players in its second month, and still maintaining over 100 players daily, even 6 years after launch, is an impressive feat for an anime game. And if you look up Fatal Bullet reviews from fans rather than from review sites, then most will tell you that it's a great game. So what's causing this divide between fans and non-fans? Well, it all boils down to the fundamental nature of this game. Therefore, let's explore these factors and find out why Fatal Bullet has such split reviews. Fatal Bullet is a third-person looter shooter with RPG elements. The bulk of the gameplay includes exploring open maps, searching for dungeons, fighting NPC enemies, and obtaining new loot. The game includes 9 different weapon types: handguns, shotguns, SMGs, assault rifles, sniper rifles, Gatling guns, launchers, swords, and finally a gun/sword dual wield. Another large mechanic that exists as part of your arsenal is a grappling gun that allows you to traverse and scale tall structures, as well as grab and take down enemies. In addition to those weapons, you can equip different skills that all have varying effects. Some will temporarily boost one of your stats like speed, while others will perform a certain action like a damaging dash. There are also gadgets that you can unlock such as grenades. For those included RPG elements, you can level up, and when leveling up, you'll unlock points that can be used to enhance specific stats. Now that we've covered the main gameplay mechanics, let's talk about controls. I don't like them. For reference, I played this on PC. You have your standard moves like run, dash, dodge, dodge again, crouch, and jump. For attacks, you can shoot and aim, except aiming is really weird. There's an assist that will automatically target enemies in your view indicated by a green circle. Now this can be turned off, but even when turned off, there's still a crazy strong aim assist that seemingly cannot be turned off. And like I said, I'm on PC. I can understand having strong aim assist on console, even then it should be able to be turned off, but for forcing this on PC is a really weird addition. But it makes sense when you realize that this was not optimized for PC. You can use your mouse to aim, but you cannot control any menu options with your mouse. You must use arrow keys or WASD, which is stupid. But going back to aim assist, I think I know why they included it, because this game is less about being good with your loadout and more about having a good loadout. The majority of the gameplay is just farming enemies to try and level up and get good gear. There is strategy involved, but that strategy is about making the best build possible and obtaining the best weapons possible, not necessarily about outwitting your opponents. But that's also because the AI sucks, both the enemies and your teammates. You can have a party of 4, including yourself, with the other 3 being AI partners. However, they're just idiotic. You can give them basic commands to follow, but it doesn't really help all too much because they'll still charge in alone and get killed because they tried to solo a large group of enemies. The enemies are also pretty dull too, both in terms of behavior and design. They'll kind of just stand there in one spot and spam the same attacks over and over. Even boss fights are boring as you basically just run around them in circles avoiding their occasional attacks. The designs themselves are also boring. It's either generic robot, generic bug monster, or generic NPC player. There's a PvP mode, but even when you fight others, there are still NPC enemies on the battlefield, and the majority of the game is just fighting strictly NPCs. Let's get back to the controls. They're quite stiff, which you can see just by watching it. Movements are not smooth at all, especially the sidestep and the grappling gun. You can also see it when using certain weapons. Most of the guns feel pretty different from one another, and the swords do have their own unique moveset, but the sword's moveset feels very clunky. I'm not a big fan of the gameplay. I find it kind of tedious. It can be fun sometimes to mow through enemies, but it gets boring quickly. However, there definitely is an audience out there for this type of game. I just personally don't like grinding to level up, and I didn't really feel all too motivated to try and unlock better weapons. But I'd say my disappointment in the gameplay definitely has something to do with the story mode. The story mode is not very good, unless you really like SAO fanservice. The story is set in Gun Gale Online, a VR MMO where Sword Art Online's second season and spin-off series take place. The main storyline is an original storyline following your own original created character, where you interact with Fatal Bullet original characters, as well as known characters from the SAO franchise, such as Kirito and Asuna. In this story, you play as a new player in Gun Gale Online, who accidentally discovers an Alpha Sis, or however the hell you pronounce that, which is an AI companion in Gun Gale Online. You're able to customize this AI using the same creator used to make your own character. Speaking of which, this character creator is pretty limited. You can choose your gender, customize some body proportions, choose a preset face, hair, eyebrows, and face paint / makeup. The body proportions look the same for the most part and don't change much between the maximum and the minimum. You can't customize your face, rather you have to choose a preset one, meaning you can't individually choose eyes, nose, mouth, etc. There aren't many options for hairstyle, with most of them just being reused from characters already in-game. It's a pretty lackluster character creator, on par with Jump Forces I'd say. And like I said, you can use this to make your own companion, which I think is a cool idea, but the execution is not very cool, because the character creator is not very cool. You know what else isn't cool? Everything else having to do with the story mode. The beginning of the story mode is a slog to get through. It is a ton of unnecessary exposition, and it takes about an hour to get to the actual meat of the game. And the writing for everything is so weak, it's incredibly generic and relies heavily on fan service. At some point I snapped and just skipped every cutscene going forward. The only players who are going to enjoy the story mode are SAO fans who want to interact with their favorite characters. In addition to the regular story mode, there is a Kirito mode where you can play as Kirito and loosely follow the storyline of Season 2, but the main story mode is where you're going to spend most of your time, and it's just not very good. Like I said earlier, there was a huge emphasis placed on player choice, but it doesn't actually matter. You mainly just choose dialogue responses that have no overall lasting impact. The only choice that actually matters is right at the very end. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet is an interesting game. Actually, not really, I was just saying that to sound more intriguing. Fatal Bullet is built for a niche within a niche. The broader niche is Sword Art Online fans. If you don't like Sword Art Online, then you don't really have much reason to play this, especially considering the story mode will be entirely lost on you, as it is very fanservice heavy. And within that niche, to fully enjoy the game, then you need to enjoy looter shooters. More specifically, you need to enjoy farming enemies, because that's the majority of this game. I, for one, don't fall into either of those niches. I've watched SAO up until Alicization, but never really got into it, so the fanservice meant nothing to me. And I also don't really like grindy games, so considering the gameplay itself was fairly unpolished, I didn't have much fun with the gameplay. And it seems like my perception of the game fits what many non-SAO fans think, and the reasons I dislike the game are the reasons why others like the game. However, this doesn't mean that Bandai is off the hook. The game still has flaws that shouldn't have made it into the game, like the poor PC optimization, the clunky controls, and the overall unpolished look. And Like always, they tried to monetize the hell out of it by producing 4 DLC add-ons that are poorly received side stories that are $10 a piece, except for the final one, which is $20 for some reason. If you're a big fan of SAO, then I think you'll enjoy this game. If you're a fan of looter shooters, then I think you'd also enjoy this game. If you're a fan of both, then you would definitely enjoy this game. However, it's not flawless, so I can't recommend it when it's not on sale. Oh, and your character also joins Kirito's harem, so there's also that.